During the 19th century, nations aimed for a better firing rate, to fire bullets in less time. The first machine guns were very huge and heavy. They were very difficult to move, therefore to do so, a lot of soldiers were needed. This team had different tasks, like loading the weapon, carrying it and firing it. This mechanism put more the soldier's life at risk and used a lot of time. But that wasn't the only problem. These guns were overheated very quickly, mostly in the weapon's barrel. The overheat could melt the barrel, making the gun useless and brought a risk to the soldier's life, because the weapon could explode. So this meant that the soldiers needed to stop for a while to wait for it to cool down, going back to the slow firing rates. Engineers then invented the water-cooling Maxim machine gun, giving it the ability to maintain its rate of fire for far longer than air-cooled guns. Water jackets were provided to do so, and large supplies of water were needed. This created a new problem. Water made the gun extremely heavy, so how could engineers manage to create a weapon that could not only fire quickly and don't overheat, but that was lighter? They used the specific heat capacity to find an element that had more heat capacity and less density than water in order to solve it. The specific heat capacity is the energy required per kilogram and per degree Celsius to raise the temperature of a substance. So which was the element? They found the ammoniac or ammonium. Water, to increase 1 Celsius, needs to absorb 4.184 joules and the ammoniac needs 84.1 joules. So the ammoniac was better for guns. During the World War I, many changes were introduced due to the advanced technology and innovations. As a consequence, it brought new weapons and new battle tactics and strategies so they could attack better their opponents. One of the main advances in the World War I were the tanks. The first one was called the British Mark I. They were like armored vehicles with mounted machine guns or cannons and were used to cross no man's land. That was the area between the enemy trenches. The first tanks were unreliable and hard to manage, however, they became more effective by the end of the war. The heavy machine gun was another important invention, invented by Hiram S. Maxim in 1884. It was improved during the war. It was made much lighter, easier to move, and also worked self-powered. This kind of technology was new and unheard. The Maxim gun had a water cool that stretched around the barrel, holding 1 gallon of water. By the ending of World War I in 1918, the machine gun was automatic and was capable of producing up to 600 rounds per minute. Moreover, there were changes in the naval warfare. The most dangerous ships during World War I were large metal armored battleships called dreadnoughts. These ships had powerful long-range guns, allowing them to attack other ships and land from a long distance. War also introduced submarines that were very effective to sink the opponent. Besides this battle, Allied naval ships were used to blockade Germany to prevent supplies and food from reaching the country. German troops also started to use chlorine gas attack, which is considered the moment when weapons of mass destruction were born. They deployed a total of 150 tons of the substance. Suddenly, they began failing as they blocked the breath and collapsed on the ground. As many as 1,200 were killed and 3,000 wounded. Germany first used chlorine gas to poison Allied troops. Later, the more dangerous mustard gas was developed and used by both sides. By the end of the war, troops were equipped with gas masks and the weapon was less effective. All told, the parties to the conflict used 112,000 tons of the chemical weapons between 1914 and 1918. Flamethrowers was one of the guns invented in World War I by the German army. It was essential to force the enemy out of their own trenches. The artillery guns improved during the war. They were larger guns that needed as many as 12 men to aim, load, and fire them up to a distance of 80 miles. They include anti-aircraft guns to shoot down enemy planes.